everyone. In this video we're talking about categorical versus numerical variables. So these two different types of variables, every variable kind of falls in one category or the other. So categorical, or sometimes this is also called qualitative data or variables, these are things that are labels or categories. So some examples would be a state, so the state someone lives in, or what state business is in, or something like that. Eye color would be another categorical piece of data on people. Whether or not someone has a sibling would be categorical. Another example here is a telephone number. This is one that's a little bit tricky. Our other type of variables are numerical variables, and of course a telephone number is a number, but a telephone number doesn't represent any kind of specific quantity. It's really just like another type of a label. So our numerical or quantitative variables, these represent a numerical count or measure. One question to think about when you're trying to determine whether some kind of number data is really numerical or if it's categorical is, would it make sense to add or subtract numbers together? So some examples of numerical data would be height. So if you took someone's height or two people's heights, you could add those together and get sort of, what their total height would be. Or diameters of trees or ball bearings or something like that. Those are measurements. An example of a count would be the number of siblings someone has. So in the categorical case, we had whether or not someone has a sibling. Those are just classes of or categories of things. But the number of siblings would be a numerical measure. So that is a count. If you added the number of one person's siblings to the number of another person's siblings, you would get their total number of siblings. This last bullet here, a student's S number. So your student number, even though it is a number, it wouldn't make any sense to add together two people's student numbers. That result wouldn't mean anything meaningful. Even though you could add the numbers because they are numbers, they're not representing a count or a measure. So here's an example. This is some questions that I gave on a statistics student survey. And we can look at each of these questions and think about what variable is this collecting, and is it numerical or categorical? So how much sleep did you get last night in hours? The responses to this question are going to be a number of hours, so this is numerical data, a numerical variable. The last four digits of your phone number. I heard you mention before that phone numbers are numbers, but they're not numerical data, and same here for the last four digits. The result will be a number, but really it's just a label. It's just like a code that's associated with a person. It wouldn't make sense to add those numbers together. It wouldn't make sense to take the average of students' phone numbers or anything like that. So that would be categorical data. Are you right or left-handed? This is another categorical variable. And maybe this only has two options, or maybe we have right or left or ambidextrous, right? So categorical variables could have many possible results, but they are not counts or measures. Do you believe in ghosts? This is maybe a yes or no type question. That would be categorical. Guess my age in years. This is going to be a number, and it is sort of an actual measure. This is a number of years representing someone's age, or in this case, my age. So that would be numerical. And then finally, how many credits are you enrolled in at the college? So that is also a numerical variable that represents a count. Finally, why does it matter whether data is categorical or numerical? These different data types determine how we summarize and analyze our data. So what types of graphs it would make sense to create, how we can do measures like finding an average. If you have numerical data, finding the average or a measure of center would make sense, but if you have categorical data, you can't find an average or center measure of that data. So for categorical data, we're going to be focused more on frequency of different responses. Maybe we're looking at a pie chart or a bar chart to represent the frequency of each of those responses. If we're looking at numerical data, we're probably creating a histogram and looking at the distribution of those numerical values, as well as measuring different measures of center and spread. You'll learn about all of these later in the semester, but the types of questions we're asking about the data and how we come to understand it depend heavily on what type of data it is or what type of variables we're talking about. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.